Guys, welcome to week number 3 of my Goggins Force programming. This week is, by my best assumption, a form of a deload week. What you'll notice here is I'm working with chains on the box squat for the first time. I worked 7, or I guess 9 total triples, 2 of them at 285, I believe, with 160 pounds of chain. The other one's at 315 or so, or 310 or something like that. I think it was like 480 at the top. But chains deloading at the bottom just to take some pressure off the hips, but still actually getting to move some decent weight around. These all felt pretty good. I've been hitting some anti-inflammatories over this last week, as well as just doing a good amount of soft tissue work and through the hamstring, and just kind of treating it like more of a tendonitis now that I know that that's what it is. I'm also doing some, I didn't film them because they're super awkward and I kind of almost died with the setup with it, but doing some eccentrically loaded hamstring work in the form of a band assisted Nordic curl that I rigged up on my lat pull down machine, which is super sketchy, but those have all been helping, as well as doing some like cobra push-ups to just get my back moving and doing some extension work. So that has helped get rid of some of the tingling, and through the right hip that's gotten maybe 25 to 35% better. And then I did not have any symptoms of the hamstring tendonitis on these squats or even on the deadlifts on the Thursday workout. So definitely seeing some improvement with that, although it's not better and it's still at a point where I'm squatting in briefs. But as long as I can continue to train and keep making improvements with that and not having any of that shuddering, I'm willing to do what it takes. So these all moved pretty well, considering the weight, but I had also been doing some work in chains before. What you can see here is I'm focusing on just really locking in that upper back position and keeping that consistent throughout all of the sets and reps, as well as just using my normal squat stance this time around as opposed to the wider stance I would normally take with a box squat or with a brief squat, kind of like what I was using in training prior to starting this round of programming with Steve. So my goal with that is to try and get as little out of the briefs as possible, really just using them for some extra support and not trying to get a ton of carryover out of them. So that's pretty much it for those. I followed that with some glute ham raises, some of the eccentric Nordic curls, and some pull-throughs, and just a little bit of rehab and prehab work. On the paused bench day with the Duffalo bar, this is still just a control day, so I did a 5x5 with 225. Nothing really to write home about aside from just continuing to get better with the head down position on bench. As you can see, my bar speed is all pretty good, considering it was a little bit tight going into this workout, but everything felt good. Nothing really exciting to talk about with that, aside from my awesome sleeveless flannel shirt from Elite FTS. I feel like this is going to be maybe a little bit of a mainstay for me once the weather gets a little warmer. So it moves with you and knows how to hug your curves in all the right places. Anyways, on to the deadlift day. Kind of similar with the squat, this takes a drop in intensity. I had a total of 10 singles with 315 done for speed and technique. All these felt really good and moved pretty quickly, all considering. You can see I've got my starting position pretty much dialed in. Everything is unwinding nice and smoothly. I'm getting the shoulders moving up and in line with my head, so kind of starting with that neutral head position, but allowing it to follow the rest of my body to the lockout instead of letting the chin drop down. And as a result, the lockouts on these felt quick and smooth, and I had no hamstring symptoms whatsoever in them. So that was exciting to say the least. I'm pretty happy with how my pulls are feeling right now, and hopefully the trend of just kind of having a lighter week, or a week that's less stressful for the hamstring, will set me up for some good numbers next week. I followed these with Shrugs. I did not have the rack pulls programmed in today, so I pushed the Shrugs a bit heavier and took ascending sets of 10, all the way from 405 up to 585. I think I went 455 for 10, 500 for 10, 550 for 10, and then the top set at 585. And those all felt pretty good too, so it wasn't actually too sore, and through my upper back the day after. So Followed these with some heavy close grip cable rows, some sets of like 10 to 15 with a stack, and then some neutral grip lat pull downs again. So that brings us to the main bench day for the week, the Saturday workout. I was able to hit all 3 sets of 8 with 320 this week. Those all moved really well, and I kept a pretty consistent bar path throughout all of the sets, which definitely helped with that balance. And also just kind of the speed coming out of the bottom. What's interesting is now that I'm keeping the head down, I don't necessarily feel as fast off of the chest, just because I'm not getting that more violent leg drive, but the bar is still moving at pretty much the same speed as my sets used to work. So it's gonna just take some getting used to more mentally, but as far as just positioning and overall quality of rep, that's significantly improved from last week, and pretty much from the first set all the way through the last rep of the third, the reps were consistent and everything stayed in position. So I swapped out the dumbbell incline pressing from last week for some sets of floor press. Took 225 for 5, 275 for 4, and then a 3x3 at 295 on those. And those all felt pretty good, although they were a little bit harder than I had expected, just because I haven't really done any floor pressing in a while. Steven mentioned that he wants me to actually train those with a little bit narrower grip, so I'll probably do my floor presses with a pinky on the ring instead of my normal pointer finger on the ring competition grip, and just get a little bit of extra work for the triceps. So I followed that with some overhead press up to 205 for a set of 6 on the 5th set, and then the regular side raises and pull aparts and face pulls and 5 sets of triceps and normal accessories that I've had. So that's about it for bench. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to connect with me on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, if you want to come train with us here at Savage Gym, be sure to check out our website at www.savagegym.com. Take care.